Hello, good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are in this world. Fans of virtual racing, good to have you tuned in here on Twitch TV for the Forza Motorsport Spec Racing Series, week number 3. No, take that back. Scratch, check. Week number 4 of this Forza Motorsport Spec Racing Series. It's going to be a phenomenal one. We're already looking at the standings, and you can see the storylines that are going to play out here today. Slipstream at the top of the leaderboard with Cratrium, tied. They're technically in second with 80 points. Well done, Baku in third. Blister Gypsy in fourth. Boontang Disco Joint. Fear the Fun. 3 names you're going to want to look out for here today. PJ Dude, Mr. Biggie, who, while he's not going to have a chance to come away with the championship based on his late entry here into Season 25, he's got a chance to spoil it for other drivers out on the track, just like he did last week out there at Road America, where he came away with the win. Glad to have you tuned in, folks. Dustin Moore broadcasting here on Twitch, and glad to be back after an illness. Knocked me down, had me out on Sunday, wasn't able to do the Mileage Masters Championship. We've rescheduled that for this coming Sunday, but boy, are we back here for Tuesday night racing, and what a better night to be back. Mondays, it's good. You started the week. You made it through one day of the 5-day work week. Fantastic. Tuesday, you need a little extra push to get you to hump day. Well, here you are. Here we go. Getting ready for some virtual racing here in the world of Forza Motorsport. And with this wonderful crowd of drivers that we've been watching over the last 3 weeks out at Circuit de Spa, Rio de Janeiro, Mount Panorama, Sonoma Raceway, and here tonight, well, actually, hold on. We've got 2 more. Road America, Prague. And then here tonight, we've got Sebring and Road Atlanta. 2 phenomenal tracks for these phenomenal drivers to take to. Wide open tracks, mind you. So gone are the city courses here in Season 25. Wave goodbye to those fellas. It's out to the real world circuits, out in the open, where you've got some room to maneuver. You don't have to worry about slamming your car into one of the barriers in those city courses like Prague, like we saw there at the conclusion of week number 3. Plenty of great racing to be had here tonight, and so I hope you will get sat down, grab yourself maybe a bite to eat, something to drink, and get ready for about, I don't know, what does it turn out to be, 75, 80 minutes of racing here on the broadcast. I see Slow Motion Fire is in the pit lane here with us, the pit lane being the chat here on Twitch TV, giving us a hello. Presto is Besto is here as well, saying he's not going to be able to race, but will be watching. Foontang with the hello. And then I've got to say, SVR Genzenator, not sure if he's watching here tonight, but thank you very much for the Tier 1 subscription. Tier 1 from Genzenator. We'll have to run that one back on Sunday if Genzenator is not here to receive those thanks. But yes, I am pumped. I am super pumped. We're going to have some phenomenal racing. We're going to talk to some of the drivers at the conclusion of qualifying here. Oh, where'd my screen go? There it is. Hold on. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. Yeah, we'll talk to some of the drivers, hopefully, at the conclusion of this one. Get their thoughts on the racing action here today, starting with Sebring. And the beautiful thing here about Season 25, or at least for those who are in favor of not having any weather to deal with, is that there has not and there will not be any precipitation to deal with. But out here tonight, we've got foggy conditions out at the track. Foggy conditions for our racers out at Sebring here today, and we'll go ahead and switch things over so you can all see what's happening in the lobby. We've got Foontang, Cratrium, Well Done Baku, Fear the Fun, Gotta Go Fast, T-Phrase, Weiss Lancelot. We saw Weiss Lancelot enter, I believe, last week, but then jumped out. So we'll see if Weiss actually gets through a race here today. Fast Eddie, that's a new name here for Season 25. Autobahn, Mr. Biggie making his return here in week number 4. Blister Gypsy, TFX Drip Bunny, Motive 87, Slow Motion Fire, Modern Weapon, Brian 1X, TFX Ray Devil, Demos, Iceman Misfit, and now loading into the lobby, it's PJ Dude. 21 drivers, we'll make that 20 drivers because I'll be spectating. 20 drivers of the 23 spots available on the grid. We'll see if we don't get a few more here before qualifying gets underway. 3 laps out here at the full circuit of Sebring. Yes, the full circuit, all 3.7 miles of it out here at Sebring, Florida, US of A. And the drivers are getting readied up, and very, very soon here the organizers will kick this over into high gear for 3 laps around the full circuit. The historic Sebring International Raceway. Hello there, Dino Dad Shadow. Good to see you. Another Shadow person of the Shadow family. And give everything a second here to load up. We'll talk about these cars for those of you who may be tuning in for the first time here in FM4 season number 24. And there we go. Slow Motion Fire is going to be the first one off the grid. And folks, in case you haven't been watching the news, last week, unfortunately, another senseless act of violence here in Sebring, Florida, in the real world. I know we're in the virtual here at Sebring International Raceway, but in the real world, an unfortunate, senseless act of violence. And so for the remainder of this lap, I'm going to go silent. We'll let the V8 motors roar in honor of those 5 women who lost their lives tragically and senselessly late last week. And coming out of Sunset Bend, turn 17 here at Sebring International Raceway, it's going to be Fu-Tang and Slow Motion Fire, the first to trip the sensor as they go across the line. Mr. Biggie is going to be the third one across the line with that 219.1. Now, that was a standing start lap. So here is the first flying lap or rolling start to qualifying lap number 2. And let's go hang out with Mr. Biggie as he makes his way around the track. Again, currently with the top time. Fear the Fun actually now is going to trip in at a 219.0. So Fear the Fun currently with the lead lap and now make that Cratrian. Dagon 187 saying, let's go TFX. Dino Dad Shadow saying, hoping I'm feeling better. Hope that I feel better. I do. I feel great. I might sound a little bit congested, so bear with me. I'm trying not to make it sound disgusting, but we're going to have a great time here this evening. I am pumped. I feel energetic. I've regained all the energy that I absolutely lost Saturday night, and that's why we called Mileage Masters Championship Season 5, race number 4 this past Sunday. We'll get that going here this coming Sunday at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. Watching Mr. Biggie get around the track. Well done, Baku is now our top time, and we'll go back to well done Baku and see if he's going to be able to pull off a top time on the flying lap. And of course, how that compares to Mr. Biggie. Mr. Biggie showed up big. Yes, very appropriate, the name there, Mr. Biggie, showing up big there in season number 4. Again, throwing a wrench in many of the plans of our drivers out on the track. They wanted that top spot. They wanted to be victorious out at Road America. That way they could move up the leaderboard. Well, Mr. Biggie coming in midway through season 25 says, not so fast. Not so fast. I'm going to claim those 25 points out there at Road America. And then he showed up nicely there at Prague in race number 2, finishing 4th position. Watching Well Done Baku coming out of turn 13, known as Tower. And then down this relatively long straightaway before you go into Bishop. Corner 14 right there, that little kink. And now through 15 and then up to 16, which is Lamar. And then it's down the long Ullman Straight toward that Sunset Bend T17 on the concrete. Very, very uneven concrete. If you're not careful, if you don't have your tune correct, if you don't have your suspension set up optimally for this track, this could be a very difficult section for you to get through. Well Done Baku, though, looks very, very good getting through there. You can see the fog setting in here at Sebring, all across the track that is without any elevation change whatsoever. And Mr. Biggie has got the top time at a 2:15.4. And so you see Mr. Biggie hanging out currently with Funtang. Again, that beautiful feature here in Forza Motorsport 7 where all the qualifying can happen at once without the drivers impeding each other. They go into ghosted mode, and that way Mr. Biggie can get around the track without having to worry about getting around Funtang here. Of course, Funtang holding a pretty good pace, though currently with the fifth fastest lap out on the track. They come out of turn 13 now at this point, out of Tower up to Bishop. These V8 Aston Martin Vantages. V8 Aston Martin Vantage. A700 class here in Forza Motorsport 7. 607 horsepower, 607 matching foot-pounds of torque, 3,663 pounds of curb weight. All that horsepower and torque has to muscle around the track. But it does so beautifully and gracefully. Much better, at least in my opinion, than those X19s, the Fiats back there in season 24. These Astons have been a treasure to watch get around the track, and that's all due to the ones behind the virtual wheel, our racers here in the Forza Motorsport Spec Racing Series. And across the line goes Mr. Biggie and Funtang, and Mr. Biggie solidifies his time with a 2:15.4 best lap. We'll see if anybody is able to top that here with the remaining drivers coming across the track. Let's go back to Cratrium, who is second in terms of top time. He's going to run wide through Sunset Bend. That's not going to bode well for him. He cuts it back into the inside there towards the pit lane and sways back out to the outside. And across the line, he's going to go no dice. Not able to best Mr. Biggie. As a matter of fact, I think going wide there through Sunset Bend, he may have invalidated his lap. Third place in terms of top time. Well Done Baku just now coming across the line. Funtang has the 4th best time. Blister Gypsy in 5th. T-Phrase, 6th best time. It's PJ Dude in 7th. Demos in 8th. 9th is going to Modern Weapon. 10th is Weiss Lancelot. Good run by Weiss. Fast Eddie coming around Sunset Bend with the 11th quickest time so far of the 20 who entered into qualifying. They'll go underneath the Michelin Bridge toward the checkered start-finish line, and there you go. That be it. Don't mind the position off to the left. Unfortunately, here in Forza Motorsport 7, it does not sort by best time, best lap time. It's sorting by best overall time, and by that I mean the least amount of time out on the track. That goes to Funtang at a 6:58.6. But paying attention to those times that actually matter, the best laps there, Mr. Biggie with that 2:15.4. And you can see the rest there. I'm going to go over to Discord and see if we can't get a few. Oh my gosh. We've got all kinds of drivers who are in the Racer Cons. Let's see if we can't get a few of them over to the queue for interview section. Drivers, if you are looking to have a little chat before you get ready for, 15 laps? 15 laps out here at Sebring. You know where to go. Ollie's saying Team Pink, hashtag Team Pink or Team Magenta for Foontang. I think that's what Ollie is referring to, rooting on Mr. Foontang around the track. Foontang had a great appearance there in season number, not season number 3, week number 3, coming away with a second place finish out at Prague. And so we'll see if Foontang is going to be able to make his way up the standings any more than he already has up to this point, which is 5th position back there behind Blister Gypsy with 74 points. And everybody's being a little bit shy, a little bit bashful here today. Nobody in the queue for interview section on Discord. That's okay. If they don't want to chat now, maybe they'll chat after the race. And it looks like the race organizers getting everything queued up. Get everything ready to go for us here in race number 1. Yes, 2 races out here at Sebring today. And it looks like we've got the rain. I know you can't see it. I can see it, but we've got the rain falling. Certainly we're not going to have any rain here today. It is, after all, dense fog to start the race, then an 80% chance of thin fog halfway through the race, and then by the time the race is at its conclusion, we're looking to have 100% overcast conditions. Buck636 with the Twitch Prime subscription. Thank you, sir or ma'am. I greatly appreciate that. And for anybody who's watching here, if you can't make the leap to a subscription, either with Twitch Prime or a monetary contribution, at the very least, please click that follow button. It lets me know as the broadcaster that you're enjoying your time here on the channel, live on Twitch. And we've got 15 laps of full circuit Sebring coming at you here. Aston Martin V8 Vantages, and I told you all the specs there, 607 horsepower and foot-pounds of torque, 3,663 pounds of curb weight. We'll talk about the performance upgrades here shortly. Man, this is crazy. These drivers were really wanting to talk the last couple of weeks, and in here today, they are just straight up silent. That's okay. Maybe they're just honed in. Let's go, Brian 1X, says Buck. So there you go, creating some fan. That's the beauty here on Twitch TV and Virtual Motorsports, is the opportunity for our drivers here to build a fan base for themselves. Great stuff, and Buck, again, thank you very much for your support of the channel, and hopefully we'll see you for many races to come, not only here in the Forza Motorsport Spec Racing Series, but also hopefully in the Mileage Masters Championship and other race events that we do here on the channel. And looks like the race organizers are going back and forth on the regulations here to get everything correct. We've got 20 drivers out on the grid, those same 20 that started there during qualifying. And we'll see if maybe we don't get another or 2 in the mix, maybe if not for this race, but perhaps for the next one. Shadow Edge Media, Dustin Moore broadcasting to you live. And the Forza Motorsport Spec Racing Series, happy to be the official broadcast partner. We started this little gig here back in season 24 at the tail end of 2018. Had such a phenomenal time doing it. I told Slow Motion Fire, heck yeah, man, sign me up. Let's do this thing again. And I think we've really ramped up and amped up the excitement, not only here in the broadcast, but also for the drivers out on the track. They love the fact that they're out here on the broadcast, and that way after they get done with the races, a lot of them will come back and watch the rerun that we do. Well done, Baku, giving us an update in Discord saying delay is due to manual gridding. Absolutely, we anticipated that, so that's okay. I'll just keep talking, no worries. Well done, Baku, with the update. Thank you very much, I appreciate that. And I encourage our drivers that once we conclude this race, we'd love to be able to chat with you, get your thoughts on your finish out here. The storylines, as we continue to look at the leaderboard here, Slipstream, Cratrium tied at 80 points apiece. They're at the top of the leaderboard. What's going to happen here at the end of today? And Slipstream is actually not out on the circuit here today, at least not for race number 1. And I think that's what we saw back on week 3 as well. So if he's not out on the track here for the start of week 4, that could that could be detrimental here to where he stands on the leaderboard after week number 4, giving Cratrin perhaps the upper hand. Well done, Baku. Also could move up. Blister Gypsy, I told you, don't rule out these 3 names. In fact, these are the 3 names that I'll be watching for out here in this race, or these 2 races here today. Fotang, Disco Joint, and Fear the Fun. Blister Gypsy, of course, as well. But Fotang, Disco Joint, and Fear the Fun, those are the 3 names that I, in particular, going to be looking out for and seeing what they do here. Not only at Sebring, but then a little bit later out at Road Atlanta. You want more virtual motorsport? Racing, action, things to view here on the old computer, on your mobile device, whatever the case, we got you covered. This coming Sunday, the Mileage Masters Championship Season number 5, race number 4. We couldn't do it this past Sunday due to my illness, but we'll get back at it here this coming Sunday. And that's a season that you do not want to miss. We've got 3 races remaining. We're on the back half, starting with race number 4 into the back half of that season. And it's going to be a good one. You don't want to miss it. Get all the details down below, twitch.tv/Shadow Edge Media, which includes a scoreboard. The scoreboard is down there below. You want to check that out, see where all your favorite drivers are. And then also the rule book and information about the series, so that if you want to race with us, you can certainly do that. The door is open, the invitation is out. We'd love to have you participating in what we're doing, not only here in FM4, but also in the MMC. And again, all that information just down below. You want details on what you're watching here today, the FM4 Forza Motorsport Spec Racing Series, you can find all that at reddit.com/r/FM4. Looks like we've got all our drivers readied up. I'm in spectate mode, I do believe. So we should be good to go for racing here any minute. As soon as the organizers tell us that we are good to go, I'll go ahead and switch things over for you all. And there you go. There's a look at how the grid is all lined up for this one, taking those qualifying times and setting them up so that the drivers with the quickest time there through those 3 laps are out in front. And that means Mr. Biggie. He's got pole position heading into turn number 1. And turn number 1 is an exciting one here at Sebring. Some corners are, you kind of have to buckle up and buckle in and just kind of hope for the best. But this is one of those corners where really, for the most part, even a little bit of bumping isn't going to be too costly for the drivers. Plenty of room here in this first corner, but hopefully everybody will mind their P's and Q's for the most part and get through it nicely, and then we can get on with 15 laps here at Sebring. 3.7 miles per lap. And here we go. Kick the tires, light the fires. Mr. Biggie off the pole position. Well done, Baku sneaking up behind him there in 3rd. He's going to be right on the back bumper. And here we go, just as I mentioned, into turn number 1. There goes Mr. Biggie with that Pennzoil. Aston Martin V8 Vantage. Cratrin going to be out to the outside. Now is going to take over the lead spot. Well done, Baku looking to the inside. No opportunity there through turn 2, 3. Now let's see what he can do in 4 and 5. Nope, he's going to sit back there in 3rd position as they continue to sort things out a little bit further back behind. Blister Gypsy, Fotang back there in 4th and 5th respectively. Out of the Big Bend, T6 up to Hairpin, which is T7. Very tricky corner this one is. You come through it, decelerating, then you try to line yourself up as straight as possible through the chicane there. A little bit too much on the accelerator can have those back tires spinning. Cratrin going to hold on to the top spot, at least for now, out of 9, up to T10. Then it's T11 with Collier. Great start in this one. Mr. Biggie now going to look to the outside. Now it's going to be the inside coming up through 12 and 13 with Tower. And Mr. Biggie now claims the top spot just as he did out there at Road America. Now Cratrin is going to be on his inside. Well done, Baku takes the top spot. And now Mr. Biggie's going to fall back to 4th with Blister Gypsy moving up It's like this trio of drivers, these three out in front who have been racing here at season 25, are saying, all right, Mr. Biggie, go ahead and make your way on back. We're coming through. Up to Le Mans and down Ullman Straight they will go. Mr. Biggie in fourth. Fontaine back there in the magenta NVIDIA V8 Aston Martin Vantage in fifth. Looking back a little bit further, it's T-Phrase in sixth, Modern Weapon in seventh, Iceman Misfit in eighth. Weiss Lancelot, who finished there in 10th overall in qualifying, is now in the 9th position. Demos is in 10th, Fear the Fun in 11th, PJ Dude in 12th, Drift Bunny in 13th, Soul Motion Fire in 14th as they get through Sunset Bend. TFX Ray Devil in 15th, 16th is Motive, Autobahn back in 17th, Gotta Go Fast in 18th, Fast Eddie in 19th, and Brian in 20th. Let's go to 4th position with Futang, who has now given that position, given third back to Mr. Biggie, at least tentatively. We'll see if that holds true. Coming out of T5, another tricky corner underneath the Chevrolet bridge, and down through that big bend. That sweeping right-hander, and again, no undulation in this track whatsoever, so you're not rolling downhill, uphill, or anything. It's all sheer power, 607 horsepower, 607 foot-pounds of torque, muscling these cars around the track, cutting through the fog here at Sebring. 3.7-mile full circuit, 15 laps. We're on lap number 2 as it stands right now. Heading into our next race here immediately after this one out at Road Atlanta to conclude week number 4. But plenty of racing to go here. Let's not get too far ahead, Dustin. Let's keep our eyes on the racing action that's happening right out in front of us. Out of T13. Let's go back to Iceman Misfit, who's running in 6th. And apparently we're getting word there in the pit lane that Blister Gypsy wrecked. And perhaps as I was running through the list of drivers, we had Blister Gypsy go off track. Yeah, he's back in 20th position. Probably had to make a pit stop. I appreciate the folks in the pit lane. Fear the Fun, though, may look to do a double pass here at Sunset. Modern Weapon's going to go wide, and he looks extremely fast. No, Modern Weapon's extremely wide here through Sunset Bend. That's going to allow Fear the Fun and Iceman Misfit to get through. Modern Weapon, fortunately for him, able to avoid the tire wall and maintain speed. PJ Dude back there in 8th position as they cross the line for the end of lap number 2, the start of lap number 3. Through T1. What a good recovery by Modern Weapon. I thought maybe he was going to run way too wide and off into the tire wall. Not the case. And back there behind Modern Weapon is PJ Dude. Soul Motion Fire in 9th. Demos in 10th. Ray Devil is 11th. Autobahn back in 12th. We've got all kinds of racing happening back here. 10th through, I don't know, it looks about 17th or 18th position. As we go back now to Motive, who's there in 13th. Back to our race leaders. The front of the pack, let's go to Cratrim, who's running in 3rd. Could definitely benefit from a podium position here in this one. Mr. Biggie has moved up now back to 2nd position after falling back to 4th. Crisscross Applesauce says he thinks that that Blister Gypsy may have made a little bit of contact with Mr. Biggie around the turn, and it was just enough to push him to the wall. And I wonder if he's talking about Sunset Bend. And Mr. Biggie, Mr. Biggie well onto the inside there through T15, or coming out of T15 up to Le Mans. Going to have to mind the track limits there as you look down the straightaway, Ullman Straight. You can see that fog back there behind him, not allowing us to see the cars in 5th and onward. And really, 1st through 4th are putting on a clinic to the rest of the pack. They've really taken off. Futang's going to run a little bit wide there in that NVIDIA Aston Martin. right there on the heels of Cratrim as they go back to the start-finish line. Well done, Baku, currently our race leader, third overall on the leaderboard. Would be fantastic for him to pick up the win here in race number 1 of week 4. Complex string of T3, 4, and 5. Cratrim up onto the grass a little bit with his Swordfish Racing Aston Martin V8. And through the Big Bend, and there goes Mr. Biggie looking to make a move to climb back up to first. He's going to be on the outside of Well Done. Well Done is going to take the inside line here coming up to Hairpin. Mr. Biggie carrying a bit more speed, but Well Done's going to at least have the advantage here. Let's see what happens as they head through 8 and 9. And Mr. Biggie now back out in front. You can't keep him down. They were able to put him back to 4th 2 laps ago. One of those scrappy driver clawing his way back up to the top, even sliding it through. Even sliding it through Collier there. And now back out of T13 up to Bishop. What a great start to this one. Great racing here in the FM4 Forza Motorsport Spec Series. And there goes Biggie, perhaps a little bit too aggressive, putting that Aston Martin a little bit sideways, coming here into 15. And now back on Ullman Straight. And unfortunately for Foontang and Well Done Baku, now Well Done Baku in 4th. And falling further and further behind. Cratrim won't be able to pull the rabbit out of his hat, not his head there, Jason Witten, but out of his hat. And he won't be able to come away with the championship here in season 25. But Mr. Biggie definitely making a statement saying, hey, if he is indeed going to be racing in season 26, he's going to be a name to be looking out for. And depending on which vehicle they choose. And I don't know, perhaps Mr. Biggie is one of those drivers that no matter what you put him in, he's going to be quick. There are some drivers who are incredibly quick in a certain class of car or a particular style of car. But Mr. Biggie could be quite the opposite. And no matter what you put him in, he's going to be quite successful in. So we'll have to see moving into season 26, and we don't have those details yet. But if he shows up there, he'll really be vying for the championship at that point for the start of the season. Now coming up to Hairpin once again for lap number 5. And Cratrim going to hang tight behind him. And again, it's Cratrim who has the biggest to gain with finishing in. First would be great. Second is still good. As long as he's out in front of Well Done Baku, that'll be good for him. Same can be said for Futang and Blister Gypsy. So Cratrim in a good position, although if he can eke out, 5 more points? 3 more points, that difference between first and second, you got to believe he's definitely going to be looking to do that. Let's go try to find another battle out on the track while we wait for first and second to maybe they'll be eyeing a little bit later on in this race to try to go back and forth. Perhaps Cratrim's just going to hang out on the back bumper. Back to 8th position, Slow Motion Fire making his way up through the ranks. I said last week he had a good showing. Unfortunately for Slow Motion Fire, it was one of those weeks that, yes, it looked good out on the track. Unfortunately, as far as the points go, it was no more incredible than any of his preceding weeks. And so Slow Motion Fire definitely trying to turn that around here in week number 4 and make a run at it. Currently in 10th. He is the 10th of the top 10 on the overall leaderboard with 36 points. Let's see if he can't pick up a few spots here today. He's got Biggie and PJ Dude out in front of him with 40 and 43 respectively. Coming through Sunset Bend is Slow Motion Fire underneath the Mobile One Bridge. Back toward the straightaway here at Sebring. The track that is infamous for the 12 hours of Sebring. Coming up here in the spring. How about that 24 hours of Daytona? Great racing all up until, what, the last 4 hours or so when the rain started to fall. Buckets and buckets of rain. And unfortunately ending on a red flag there in hour, 22? I mean, technically it ended at like 23:30, 23 hours and 30 minutes or so, but really the red flag dropped, I think, back on hour 20 or hour 22. So, unfortunate conclusion of that one. The IMSA series will roll on here through 2019, and of course, we'll have plenty of virtual motorsport racing action here on Twitch. Let's go back up to our leader and see if Cratrim has decided to make any progress or make any moves. It doesn't seem to be the case. He's going to be happy to be on the back bumper there of Mr. Biggie, at least for now. And that gap seems to hold true at 2 car lengths or so. Got Futang and Well Done Baku battling it out for 3rd and 4th as they continue to lose sight of 1st and 2nd, now through 14. Bishop. You see the wing bouncing around on the back there of Futang's car. That's all part of the race aero upgrades on the front and rear. Engine and power-wise, just some race oil and cooling. That's all in terms of engine and power upgrades. Platform and handling, race brakes, race springs and dampers, and then race anti-roll bars in the front and in the rear. Then you've got that race chassis reinforcement and roll cage. And believe it or not, a race weight reduction still only brings these cars down to 3,663 pounds of curb weight. In the drivetrain, street driveline, race differential, tires. You've got 305, 40, 18s wrapped around those Graham Light 57 Optimize. It's a race tire compound, and we just told you about the aero and appearance packages in the front and the rear, giving the drivers the ability to tune those. And Futang is going to try to take advantage of a mistake there by Well Done Baku coming out of T1, or actually that was T3, and he's up to 3rd position as Futang. No engine aspiration or driveline modifications or configuration changes. They are as they come stock in the V8 Aston Martin Vantage in Forza Motorsport 7. And again, that's 607 horsepower, 607 foot-pounds of torque. Gypsy moving up quickly, tells Dagon 187. Let's go back to Blister Gypsy, who was in 20th last time we checked in on him after a pit stop. Now finds himself in 12th position with that No Fear Vantage. Out of Big Bend, T6, up to Hairpin. In football, in American football, they call it ball hawking skill. Your ability to track the football and to hone in on it and make a move to defend it or to intercept it. Well, Blister Gypsy is the equivalent to ball hawking here in motorsport. He's picking these drivers and their race cars off one by one, moving up from 20th to 12th position. He's got poor old Drift Bunny out in front of him. Or excuse me, that's going to be Ray Devil there in 12th position. And now Blister Gypsy going to claim that 11th spot with even more drivers out in front of him. 10th and 9th of Modern Weapon and Demos. Demos having a much better race than what we saw back in week 3. And in week 3, he tied his week 1 points. So kind of an abysmal showing for Demos here in season 25, but looking to make a change here in week 4. Blister Gypsy looked like maybe he was going to run a little bit wide coming through Le Mans. He seems to be okay down Ullman. Back up to Cratrim in 2nd position. Cratrim closing in on Biggie through 4 and 5. Cratrim, formerly known in season 24, and of course many seasons and iterations and other racing series before that, known as C-Tom. So not a new name here in the FM4 Forza Motorsport Spec Racing Series, but a new name, but the same fast game. Creature trying to come away as the champion here in Season 25, and the great thing that you get, the benefit of being a champion here in FM4 is that you get to pick the car for the next season. And so if the Aston Martin V8 Vantage is not your thing, well, make yourself a winner and flip the script in Season 26. And now Creature falling a little bit further behind Mr. Biggie there, so perhaps Creature a little bit faster on the first half of the circuit, where Mr. Biggie is better on the back half. Let's run through the pack. Fu-Tang is third. Well done, Baku, back there in fourth. We saw that pass a little bit earlier, about a lap or two ago. Fear the Fun is there in fifth position. Slow Motion Fire has moved his way up to sixth. What a great race here by Slow Motion Fire. PJ Dude in seventh. Misfit is in eighth. Modern Weapon is ninth. Demo's there in 10th, and he's got Blister Gypsy hunting him down in 11th position. Ray Devil, and we saw Blister Gypsy make that move around Ray Devil, is in 12th. Gotta Go Fast in 13th. Weiss Lancelot in 14th. Autobahn is 15th. Fast Eddie, first appearance here in Season 25, is back there in 16th position. T-Phrase in 7th. Motive in 8th. Drift Bunny in 19th. And unfortunately for Brian, the backest of the back markers there in 20th. But hey, just as we always say here, whether it be on Sundays or on Tuesdays, the MMC, the FM4, they're all about getting out here, no matter your skill level, no matter how you match up against other drivers out on the track, run your race. Not everybody can finish first. Somebody has to finish last. If that's you, fine. Try to improve over time. And perhaps that's your path to getting better here in the virtual world of motorsport. And if not, well, at the very least, you come away with a bunch of credits that you can take back to Forza Motorsport 7, spend them on cars, spend them on driver gear, whatever tickles your fancy. And at the very least, you're getting experience running out here on the track with the slew of driver skill that we have out here on the track. You got your fast drivers, you got your slower drivers, your novice, your intermediates, your experts. Mix and mingle with them. Rub shoulders, maybe a little bit door panel. Keep it clean out there, and you'll be invited to come back week after week. Mr. Biggie holding off Creature pretty well. And back there in third, Fu-Tang is doing a good job holding off Mr. Well Done Baku. As we go to Well Done Baku's car there, coming out of Collier up to 12 and then 13. Buck say, come on, Brian. Get it together, Brian. You can do it. Brian coming across the line for the start of his lap 9 as we get ready to wrap it up here with our leaders out in front. Lap number 9 of this 15-lap race, and again, it is 3.7 miles around this full circuit of Sebring, and it looks like the fog has now let up, and so we just have those overcast skies here at Sebring, Florida. Mr. Piggy going to run up a little bit wide up toward those the tire wall, but hey, that's a line that you'll see the pros run in the real world. You get those LMP cars, those GT cars running up on that tire wall coming out of Sunset Bend, and it makes for a very dramatic entry back toward the start-finish line, and the camera views that those real races typically provide. It's a glorious sight of seeing those the headlamps of those cars staring you down, coming down the orange straightaway. Mr. Biggie, you hear a little bit of tire squill there coming out of 5. He continues to hold off Creature. Let's go back to 11th position, Modern Weapon. He's bookended there by Ray Devil and Demos as they get through T1. Dagon saying, come on, TFX. So he's definitely rooting on Ray Devil to try to get some separation, get himself away from Modern Weapon. Beneath the Chevrolet bridge they go. Shadow Edge Media, Dustin Moore broadcasting here live. Great to have you tuned in, and thank you so much if you're watching us here on Twitch TV. Oh, and actually, let's go back to the action. That's going to be Ray Devil, who went wide there through hairpin. So while we were just rooting on Ray Devil, actually, no, that was not Ray Devil. What am I seeing? That was Demos going wide, I believe. No, it was Ray Devil. It was Ray Devil. Pardon me, the timing hadn't quite caught up, but it was Ray Devil who went off track there through hairpin and is now running back in 12th position. Trying to catch up with Demos, who's got the Superman emblem on the hood of the Aston Martin. Back in 13th, got to go fast, trying to hold off Weiss Lancelot. 15th is T-Fray, 16th and 17th, Autobahn and Fast Eddie. As I was saying, Dustin Miles, well, that's my real name, Dustin Moore, my broadcast name. Great to have you tuned in, and thanks for tuning in. If you are enjoying the action, please let me know. Click that follow button. Lets me know as the broadcaster that you are enjoying your time here. And if you have that little extra to give through a subscription, either through Twitch Prime or through a monetary contribution, we greatly appreciate that. And you can do that with the subscribe button, either on your mobile device or here on the desktop or on your desktop. Get yourself an emote, and yes, the ads are back in a big way here on Twitch, and so if you want to avoid those ads on this channel entirely, subscribing will help do that for you. And for our Mileage Masters Championship Series, if you want to listen in on the Racer Comms, a subscription will get you the capability to listen in on the action that is happening in the Racer Comms as the drivers chatting up out there on the track for that 60 minutes of racing each and every Sunday. Coming through T13 once again for the 11th time is Great Dream and Mr. Biggie. Let's change here up in front. And Futang has now dropped back behind Well Done Baku once again. Well Done Baku able to jump back up there in the 3rd position. Let's go ahead and take a look at the telemetry of our cars here. Not necessarily for the for what's happening with the suspension and tires and all that good stuff, but more so what's going on with the damage. And by damage, I mean the fuel consumption and tire wear. Approaching the 50% mark there up at the front for Futang. 35, 33 back there in the rear. And what is that? About 58% fuel consumption with 42, now 41 remaining in the fuel tank there for Futang. No issues for the remaining 5 laps here. Well, four and not even a full lap. Not even half a lap. Not even 1/4 of a lap. Let's just make it 5 laps as of right now. And check that. Make that 4. Getting through T1. Futang going to try to make a move here on Well Done. Coming up to 3 and 4. And Futang going to be on the inside. What a beautiful pass by Futang. He does it once again on Well Done Baku. Let's see if Futang is going to be able to hold off Well Done for the remainder of this race. Of course, a lot of time with about 3 3/4 of the race remaining. 3 3/4 laps. And Futang heading out up to hairpin. What a beautiful, beautiful pass. That's a tricky thing to do there in turn 4 and 5. I wouldn't say that those corners are set up the best for passing. Usually you see the passing reserved for T6 there, coming through Big Bend and then up to hairpin, and then now back here through Collier, or coming up to Collier after T10. Back there behind Well Done Baku is Fear the Flood in 5th, closing in, might I add. Slow Motion Fire in 6th. Again, a marvelous showing here by Slow Motion Fire. He finds himself on an racing island currently, which is good probably. Allows him to get some breathing room, but keep a pace without having to worry about playing defense. Back in 7th is Iceman Misfit, and wouldn't you know it, Blister Gypsy has made his way all the way up to 8th position. Looking to claim 7th here shortly. Let's go up to them, or back to them as they get through T13. Here comes Blister Gypsy, that no fear. That thing looks solid. The matte paint, matte black, as a matter of fact, looking at it, looks like carbon fiber stitch all across that Aston Martin Vantage with the no fear emblems on there, harkening back to the 90s era there. No fear was a much more prominent brand. Holding true here in 2019 with Blister Gypsy representing. Gonna look to the inside, coming out of Le Mans there, T16 down Ullman Straight. On the inside, telemetry-wise, he claims 7th, and yes, his nose is out front, and now he's going to jump out in front of Iceman Misfit as they head into T17 with Sunset Ben seeing some fantastic passing here in the late stages of this race with the fog now out of the way. Just overcast skies up ahead, and we've got a couple of drivers, Weiss Lancelot and one other, heading into pit lane. And so that's going to give Brian an opportunity to move up. Brian now finds himself in 18th position. Got to go fast. Oh, no. Got to go fast. Has fallen back to 19th. Weiss is emerging from pit lane. And so something happening with Got to Go Fast, who was 13th on the overall leaderboard coming into today's duo of races. Continue to hang out here with Blister Gypsy in 7th. He's got Food-Tang. Oh, Food-Tang has dropped back to 6th. What has happened to Food-Tang? Wow. Disappointing for Food-Tang. So that has Slow Motion Fire now up to 5th position. Great run by Slow. Fear the Fun in 4th. Well done, Baku in 3rd. I have no clue what happened to Food-Tang. Perhaps Food-Tang will tell us here following this race. Let's go up to Well done, Baku now, who's tracking 2nd position. Nope, that's actually a back marker of Got to Go Fast. So some separation there between 2nd and 3rd, with Craytrim still up there in 2nd position. Well done, going to use the back end of Got to Go Fast for a little bit of a draft before Got to Go Fast gets out of the way. Oh, be careful. Be careful there. Oh, yeah, Got to Go Fast, locking up the brakes, being especially careful not to park his Aston Martin in the back end of Well Done, and I'm sure Well Done is appreciative for that. 4th position, Fear the Fun. Slow Motion, like we just said, 5th position. That is phenomenal, phenomenal work. Food-Tang, unfortunately, something went dreadfully wrong for him, and now he's in 6th. Let's go to Blister Gypsy again in 7th through Sunset Ben, and look at that, they go too wide. Gonna have the advantage, and now Blister Gypsy getting very close to the tire wall and makes a move now on Food-Tang. It's 6th, 7th, 5th, 6th. No, it is 6th, 7th, and 8th. Blister Gypsy, Food-Tang, and Iceman Misfit across the line. Fear the Fun back there in 9th. He continues to close in. Or excuse me, PJ Dude. It's PJ Dude in 9th position. It's Fear the Fun who's up in 4th. Ollie is removing Food-Tang's pink car privileges. Food-Tang might have to go back to the NVIDIA green for a little bit of good luck. I'm not sure what has happened to Food-Tang here. He had a great showing. Oh, we've got a car off the track. And let's see if that car is going to be able to return to the track safely. Was that Got to Go Fast? That ran a little bit wide. Could have. Or perhaps even Well Done Baku. I think it might have been Well Done Baku a little bit anxious to catch up with 2nd and 1st and getting wide. And we are now with Well Done Baku there in 3rd as he gets through 15 and 16 Le Mans. And we'll go back up to 2nd position, Craytrim. Next time by the official stand, they'll get the white flag, letting them know that they're on their final lap. Mr. Biggie out in 1st, Craytrim in 2nd. If there's any time to make a pass, you're going to have to do it now, Craytrim. and do it without risking any other positions. That's the key, because a second place position or a second place finish for Cratrim would be fantastic. That'll keep him out in front of Well Done Baku, Blister Gypsy, Foontang, Disco Joint on the overall leaderboard, and put him in a good spot heading into Road Atlanta for race number 2 here of week 5 of season 25 of Forza Motorsport Spec Racing Series. Bolham saying, go TFX. We got a lot of TFX fans. I love it. I love seeing the fan bases coming out, showing themselves, telling us there in the pit lane, or the chat as it's otherwise known in the Twitch world, letting us know who their favorite drivers are, rooting on the TFX folks out on the track. And Cratrim, let's see if maybe he's just going to be satisfied with a second place finish here. 15 laps at the full circuit, the 3.7 mile circuit of Sebring, and it's had no shortage of excitement throughout this one. Podium position changes aplenty. Foontang probably the one that is most notable, falling back to 6th, maybe even 7th position at this point. Make that 8th position for Foontang. And here they come once again for the final time through 15 and 16. Cratrim giving that Aston Martin all that it can possibly give. Mr. Biggie doing what he's been doing all race long, with the exception of maybe a lap or two back there in the first 5, where he fell back to 4th position. He was out on the pole for the start of this one, and that's where he's going to finish, coming through Sunset Bend with a commanding 4 or 5 car lead over Cratrim. Back out on the straightaway, and that's how those two will finish. Let's go to 3rd position. Well done, Baku. He's got it in the bag. Fear the Fun in 4th. Slow Motion Fire back there in 5th. Let's go back to Blister Gypsy in 6th position. And yes, 6th position. He fell back as far as 20th coming out of lap number 1. Perhaps having to take a pit stop, and now is up into 6th. You've got to be kidding me. You have to be kidding me. What a run. Scraping the underbelly of the Aston Martin on the concrete, the uneven concrete out here at Sebring, and across the line will go Blister Gypsy in 6th. Iceman Misfit is 7th. Foontang in 8th. PJ Dude back in 9th. Let's go to Modern Weapon, who's in 11th, back behind TFX Ray Devil. And behind Modern Weapon, oh, we've got a loading screen. There we go. Back behind Modern Weapon is, well, Lap Traffic. That's going to be T-Phrase, who's the next closest back on Ullman Straight. Let's see if Modern Weapon's going to be able to catch up with Ray Devil. No such luck. TFX Ray Devil going to grab himself a 10th place finish. Modern Weapon 11th. T-Phrase coming back to the line in 12th. Demos, not a bad appearance here at Sebring with a 13th, and actually able to get around Fast Eddie in 14th position. No, actually, I take that back. It's Fast Eddie who moves up to 13th. Something happening to Demos. Demos now back to 14th position. Not sure what happened to that Superman car of Demos coming down Ullman Straight. And yes, his car is all kinds of messed up. Damage to the aero and on the front passenger side brakes and suspension. Ooh, and that's on Ullman Straight. Not sure what could have gone wrong there for Demos. 15th is going to go to Autobahn. TFX Drip Bunny in 16th. Motive is going to grab 17th. Let's go back to Gotta Go Fast. Unfortunately, way back there in the pack in 18th position. He's got the AI controlled cars of Fear the Fun out in front of him as he tries to get back to the start-finish line before this race concludes. Foontang saying, oof. Yeah, Foontang, you got to let us know, man. What happened? What happened? And for our drivers who would like to chat it up before qualifying for race number 2 begins, go into the queue for interview section. We'll have a quick word with you before that qualifying gets underway. There goes Gotta Go Fast, just pushing the AI driver at this point. That's not Fear the Fun commanding that car. That's Gotta Go Fast, trying to work his way around artificial intelligence. And there goes Gotta Go Fast, 18th position. 19th is going to go to Brian. Unfortunately, Brian not able to hold on to 18th. He'll claim 19th, though. Weiss Lancelot back there in 20th. What's up there, bouncing barman? Good to see you. And here comes Weiss in 20th. And across the line. There you go. Let's go ahead and take a look at the final results. Mr. Biggie with the win. 25 points. Cratrium going to pick up 22. And again, that's very, very good for Cratrium. That'll keep him, or that'll put him at the top of the leaderboard over Slipstream, who is not out on the track, at least not for this race. Maybe we'll see Slipstream sneak into race number 2 like we did back on week 3. Well done, Baku. 3rd place, Fear the Fun in 4th, Slow Motion Fire, Blister Gypsy, Iceman Misfit, and a very disappointing finish from Fotang, who was as far up as 3rd, dropping back 5 spots. TFX, it's PJ Dude. They're in 9th, and his fellow TFX cohort of Ray Devil in 10th position. Modern Weapon back in 11th. T-Phrase 12th. Fast Eddie up to 13th. First time that we've seen Fast Eddie in Season 25, so that's a good run for him or her. Demos in 14th. Autobahn in 15th. Drift Bunny 16th. Motive 17th. Gotta Go Fast. Brian Lancelot round out the remaining 3 out on the grid. Let's see if anybody wants to chat it up. It looks like we've got Ray Devil, or no, not Ray Devil, PFX, or TFX, it's PJ Dude going to join us here. And PJ Dude coming away with the finish. Where did I see you? They're in 9th position. 9th position out in front of your buddy Ray Devil. What do you think of that one?
I didn't do as well as I wanted to.
Yeah.
Qualified 7th and held 7th for a while. We ended up having a 4-way battle for 6th, and I just kept making mistake after mistake every lap and just kept falling behind. So I was just glad that I didn't end up having to pit at all during that race. So as long as I kept it clean, I'm happy with that.
Yeah, I would be too. 9th finish, 8 points overall, not too bad. And you mentioning not having to go into pits, we saw a couple of drivers having to go in there at throughout portions of the race. Was there any particular point of the track that was giving you fits out here in that Aston Martin?
It probably had to been the consecutive S's after turn 2.
Oh, okay. 3, 4,
I just
5.
couldn't find. Yeah, I just couldn't find a straight, regular line I can consistently run.
And now we've got Road Atlanta coming up ahead. If you were to compare or pit the two against each other, Sebring, Road Atlanta, where do you feel like you're best at?
Well, definitely Road Atlanta. It's actually like my actual true home track. I live probably 20 minutes away from it.
Nice.
In real life. Been on the track personally. I love it, and I definitely would love to get back on the actual track again sometime soon.
Does switching from a track like Sebring, which is just flat and level all the way from start to finish, going to Road Atlanta now, which has a little bit of change in elevation, does that throw you off a little bit, or have you been practicing for this particular track? Obviously, being that it's your hometown track, you're very familiar with it, but does it throw you off any to switch it up here in back-to-back races?
It does slightly. Road Atlanta is probably it's in its class of its own. It's very fast. It's a very fast track, and if you don't really know the line to run, it can get very hairy very quickly.
Talking with PJ Dude here in the driver's spotlight with a 9th place finish in the top 10. Congratulations to you out at Sebring, and best of luck to you out here at Road Atlanta.
I appreciate that.
All right.
Thank you.
And now let's go to Foontang, and the only question that needs to be asked here is, what the heck happened?
Well, there was a spinner. There was a spinner in the somewhere in the back part of the circuit, and I just went the wrong way. It happens.
Ollie telling us there in the pit lane, you got to swap out the magenta, or he's going to revoke that from you.
He can't do that.
He can't
He doesn't have the authority to do that.
A few little hiccups here in season 25. Do you think about it? Do you think about going to the traditional NVIDIA green for good luck?
Not really. The pink is more of a lucky colour for me. So,
all right. So give us your prediction here. Coming out of Sebring, obviously you would have liked a podium finish versus where you were there in 8th. A much better run here at Road Atlanta. Is that what you're hoping? Well, obviously that's what you're hoping for. But do you find yourself maybe back up there in a podium spot?
maybe. I'm not that fast here, but in practice earlier on, I was relatively quick. The car didn't feel fantastic, but then again, it didn't feel very good at Sebring. But yeah, I'm going to try. I'll try.
You'll try. PJ Dude telling us, hey, this is a very fast track here at Road Atlanta, despite the fact that you've got the undulation. How do you tune up a car for this track to make the most of that long straightaway there on the backside, but then also to have the car planted as you get through some of the chicanes here?
I've just taken a bit of aero off, really. I've got my usual setup, a little bit less rear spring and a little bit less rear aero.
And as you head down the hill here at Road Atlanta, you've got turn 12 that goes back toward the start-finish line. Are you able to go full throttle here with 607 horsepower of the Aston Martin V8 Vantage, or do you have to let up a little bit?
Yeah, I've got to let up on my setup.
Got to let up a little bit.
I can't do it flat.
That's scary. That wall on the outside.
Yeah, it might be I'm just not brave enough, which is probably the real... I might try it, but we'll see.
Does it concern you a little bit? It looks like we've got 21 drivers out here for this one. Does it concern you a little bit as you approach that turn, thinking that, hey, some drivers, they may try to go for it, and they may try to go all out in those early laps to stay out in front, and that could get very scary, a little bit hairy there coming through that corner as fast as you are.
Yeah, I mean, those tyres are an absolute kit, and I think we'll be seeing someone in the wall. Maybe a couple of people.
It's such a rough spot, too, because after you've gone past that point, you've already passed pit lane.
Yeah. it's just a danger. Hopefully no one hits it, but...
So if there's any point on this track that's going to give you troubles, that's going to keep you from being as quick as you want to be, what part of the track is that going to be?
Definitely last corner. Definitely that one.
Through turn
12.
There you go. Well, Fontang, hey, not a bad finish. I mean, 8th is not too bad, but when you consider how far you were up, certainly you would have liked to finish a little bit better. But best of luck to you here at Road Atlanta. Make up some points, get yourself up the leaderboard, and yeah, best to you.
Thank you very much, mate.
All right, so we're looking at the lobby. Currently, we've got Cratrium, Fontang still waiting to ready up, as he's probably got to get back and make some adjustments. Well done, Baku, Mr. Biggie, T-Phrase, got to go fast, Weist, Blister Gypsy, Fear the Fun, Fast Eddie, Autobahn, PJ Dude, Demos, Ray Devil, Drift Bunny, Brian, Slow Motion Fire, Motive, Iceman Misfit, Modern Weapon. Hey, there's Bambi Buster, another TFX driver, joining us here on the grid for race number 2 in week number 4. After this week, you could throw away the 2-race week. It'll be the week 5 finale. And that week 5 finale, it's a good one. Heading out to Watkins Glen, the short circuit at that for 58 laps. 58 laps around the short circuit of Watkins Glen. You don't want to miss that next Tuesday here on Twitch TV, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. AMS GG Racing saying who won the last race? Mr. Biggie is who won it there, GG Racing. Mr. Biggie coming away with the win out there at Sebring. And here we go, getting ready for qualifying out at Road American. Pardon me as we lose the game. There's the game back on the screen for you. Dagon saying Bambi finally making it in. Commander, I'll be damned. I love that name, Commander I'll be damned. It took me a second there to figure out what I was reading. Thank you for the follow. And ZP Belts 18, thank you for the follow. Much, much appreciated. I hope that means you are enjoying the racing action here on this Tuesday evening or afternoon or morning, if it's a Wednesday morning for you, wherever you are in the world. Great to have you as virtual racing fans tune in. We've got Blister Gypsy, who's going to be looking to set a blistering time. He's in a good spot to do it out in front of the pack. You've got no ghosted cars out in front of you. What an opportunity for him to set himself up on the pole position here at Road Atlanta. 21 laps at this 2.54-mile circuit out at Brazelton, Georgia, US of A. Yes, I know it's called Road Atlanta, but it's not necessarily in the city limits of Atlanta, which happens to be the home of Super Bowl 53, which will be happening here on this coming Sunday. Oh, those Patriots, those doggone Patriots versus the Los Angeles Rams. But out here on the virtual racing circuit, it's 21 drivers all out there against each other. There is no manufacturer points system here in the Forza Motorsport Spec Racing Series, so although we've got TFX crew to the count of 3, no manufacturer points or team points to be made here. And there we see Blister Gypsy is going to cross the line first. That's the standing start lap, so they'll set some fast times here on that one, but it'll be this flying lap the next time by that we'll really start to see those quick times. Craytrim with the top lap at this point with a 132.6. Nice wallpaper, says GG Racing. Yeah, it's Forza Horizon 4 there with the Ford Focus RS. Getting a little bit airborne. Clear skies up ahead here at Road Atlanta, so where we had the fog out there at Sebring, none of that here at Road Atlanta. We've got sunny skies. You'll see the rays cutting through the tree line here off to the left-hand side. Underneath the Motul Bridge goes Blister Gypsy, and this is that long straightaway. It's got a little bit of a curvature to it. As a matter of fact, they call it T9 right here at this section before you head up to the S's of 10A and 10B. And it's up the hill underneath the Road Atlanta Bridge there you see in the background. Blister Gypsy currently with the 8th fastest time. Going to try to make a difference here on the first flying lap coming out of 10A and B. Then it's T11 right there, and then T12. We were talking to Food Tank and PJ Dude about it. Can you go full throttle? Maybe not, maybe so. But a 128.5 there for Blister Gypsy. And even as others start to go across the line, he's going to hold on to that top spot. Even as Craytrim goes across the line, Craytrim not able to best Blister Gypsy. Well done, Baku currently with the 3rd best time. He's way on the opposite end of the track, so we'll see who's going to be 3rd overall as they cross the line. It's going to be Well Done Baku. Well Done Baku is going to have the 3rd best time currently. Actually, I take that back. It's going to be Food Tank. So as they continue to cross the line here, changing things up out on the track, let's go back to 2nd position. That's going to be Mr. Biggie as he gets through 3 and 4 up to the S's. Kind of go through this goalie here. Oh, getting a little bit close to exceeding track limits, but I think he was able to manage to hold on and off to the runoff section. Oh, he might have been exceeding track limits there coming out of 5. So this lap may be for nothing for Mr. Biggie. The 2nd and final qualifying flying lap of the 3 overall. Food Tank has got the 4th best time. 5th is Fear the Fun. Craytrim in 6th. Slow Motion Fire in 7th. So that means our top time goes to Well Done Baku. Now make that Blister Gypsy. Blister Gypsy is going to reclaim it. Now it's going to go to Craytrim. GG Racing confirming that a little bit dirty through that section for Biggie. So there you go, Craytrim with the current top time of a 127.6. Back behind him will be Blister Gypsy. Well Done Baku in 3rd. Mr. Biggie. Mr. Biggie falls now back to 4th position, and I have to assume that because he wasn't able to get a quick time posted on that 2nd flying lap, he did appear to get dirty there through turn 5. That prevented him from getting any further up the leaderboard or qualifying board, and so he finds himself a little bit further back. Funteng has dropped back to 5th position in terms of qualifying. Fear the Fun in 6th. Slow Motion Fire with a wonderful 7th spot. Modern Weapon in 8th. Bambi Buster in 9th. PJ Dude will have 10th. Rice and Lancelot will sit back there in 11th. And there we go. We drop out back to the lobby, and there's a look at the different times in no particular order. No thanks to Forza Motorsport 7. If there's a driver or two who wants to chat before we go into this race, by all means hop into that queue for interview, and we'll have a word with you before we get this one going. 15 laps, excuse me, 21 laps out at Road Atlanta, Brazelton, Georgia, US of A. Looking forward to it. It's going to be a great one. We had a great race there at Sebring. This one, because as PJ Dude had mentioned, it's a fast track, though, with a lot of quick corners. This will be an exciting one to watch there in terms of the drivers going back and forth for position. So we'll see if that how that pans out. It will pan out. There will be some jockeying for sure, no doubt. But where and how often through the 21 laps, we'll have to see. 2.54 miles each lap here at Road Atlanta. And I don't see any drivers hopping in, so perhaps they're very much fixated on the race that is ahead of them. All the drivers, look at that, for the most part, are queued up and showing as ready, so we may be hopping into this one very, very quickly. Back into spectate mode for me. And it looks like a lot of our drivers, if not all of them, are all ready to go. So we'll see. We'll have our race organizers get this one here underway very, very soon. We've got one addition to the race here to equal 21 drivers. It's going to be TFX Bambi Buster joining everybody out on the track, although not in contention for any points. As a matter of fact, this is Bambi Buster's first appearance here in season 25. Gonna have a go at it. Trying to maybe ruin some driver's day, take some points off the table for him. That's the beautiful thing, you know. Because you can go in and out of the Forza Motorsport Spec Racing Series, even if you weren't able to compete throughout the season, see how well you could do, and it's up to the other drivers who have been racing throughout the season to get around you and to be able to sustain their position on the leaderboard. And here we go. .21 laps, all 607 horsepower off the line here at Road Atlanta. Cratrium going to be out on front up to T1, this fast right-hander, and you see a lot of drivers usually finding themselves out onto the grass doing a little extracurricular activities, helping out the lawns crew. Doesn't seem to be the case here. Up to turn 2, 3, then 4, into the downhill, up to the S's, and Cratrium has a nice lead to start this one, but look at Mr. Biggie, who qualified 4th, is already up to 2nd. Cratrium is going to have a challenge playing defense early on in this race, all the way through those 21 laps. Back behind Mr. Biggie, it's Blister Gypsy in 3rd position. Well done, Baku in 4th. Fear the Fun in 5th. Misfit, Funteng, Bambi Buster are 6th, 7th, and 8th. Slow Motion Fire is 9th. Modern Weapon in 10th. PJ Dude in 11th. Gotta Go Fast in 12th. Weiss Lancelot in 13th. Demos in 14th. Drift Bunny in 15th. 16th is Fast Eddie. TFX Ray Devil in 17th. Autobahn in 18th. T-Phrase in 19th. Motive in 20th. And I believe Brian was off the track there coming through T7. He's in 21st position. 21th. 21. I like it. Let's go with it. It's the new. Through the line, through T. This is going to be T12. Out of that downhill, sloping right-hander across the start-finish line, and that's where we asked Futang, can you go all out across that or through that section? He said, I'm not going to try it, but maybe some of the other drivers will. Great trim now again, 2, 3, and 4 in that Swordfish Racing Aston Martin Vantage. 3,663 pounds is what they have to maneuver around this track, this very quick track, as PJ Dude was telling us. It's his home track out here in Georgia. Biggie is going to run wide for the second time there, coming through T5, and that's what kind of held him up from qualifying a little bit better in this one, is on his third qualifying lap. It was just a little bit too far with 4 tires off the track limits, or outside the track limits. Mr. Gypsy back there in third. Well done, Baku in fourth, trying to get around Mr. Biggie and put the nail in the coffin on that one. Unlike the last race where they were able to get out in front of him, put Mr. Biggie back in fourth, but then Mr. Biggie said, that's okay, that's fine. I'll play my way back up there. And perhaps it'll take a little bit of teamwork for these guys to play defense and keep Mr. Biggie from being successful in this one. Cratrim now back up the hill out of T10A and B, and then down the hill. Let's go to Fear the Fun in 5th position. Onto the rumble strips, curving there through T1, back up the hill. They line this up nicely. You can get a pretty straight run through here at 2, 3, and 4, as straight as you could possibly make it is the goal there. Oh, and perhaps Fear the Fun a little bit too far into the inside. They're entering the S's and very much wide into turn 5. Once the Forza race regulation system comes into play here in Forza Motorsport 7, we'll see how that changes up the driver's attitude and approach to these corners. Not going to be able to take those sections wide where they have the runoff area, or in turn 5's case, a little bit extra asphalt to use. Back up underneath the Motul Bridge, there goes Fear the Fun. Well done, Baku, 5th and 4th. Back up to our race leader with Great Trim. Biggie back behind him in 2nd position. Watch that steering, and you see the accelerator letting off. Back to 5,000 RPM, then accelerating back onto the straightaway, approaching 6,000 RPM. So you can tell there, Mr. Biggie definitely letting off, and if he's one of the faster drivers out on the track and he's letting off, well, then you have to imagine everybody else is going to be doing the same. Blister Gypsy there, going on the driver's side door panel of Mr. Biggie. Perhaps just a little bit of a low before Mr. Biggie jumps back out up into 2nd position. Oh, Blister Gypsy cutting through the S's a little bit there too much, and I have to imagine Mr. Blister Gypsy is going to go ahead and administer himself a little bit of a penalty, knowing that through the S's there, that's an especially big no-no. And in fact, he might have even administered himself a position penalty. No, he's still there in 3rd position, but very, very close. We're allowing Well Done Baku to close in 4th. Fear the Fun in 5th. Down the hill goes Biggie and Cratrim. Look at Cratrim putting on a clinic at this point. Fear the Fun now back behind the train of cars, 3rd, 4th, up the hill. forward there, and then let's take a look as he ducks in through the corner. A little bit of tire smoke coming off of Well Done Baku's car. And looks like we had Blister Gypsy maybe off into the grass, getting very close to the tire wall coming through the start-finish line. Blister just giving it his absolute all, pushing that Aston Martin Vantage to the limits. You do have to be careful. You push it too hard, especially early on in this race, 21 laps around the track, and that can be detrimental. Blister Gypsy already had to overcome a pretty insurmountable deficit back there at Sebring for race number 1, back there in 20th position after a pit stop, moving all the way back up to 6th, I believe. And so he doesn't want to have to play that game again. He's in a good position right now as he continues to close in on Biggie. Well Done Baku back there behind him. For the fun in 5th, Fu-Tang is 6th. Iceman Misfit is in 7th, and Iceman Misfit and Fu-Tang probably both thinking, hey, where's Fu-Tang's mistake going to come in? Hey, what's up there, Dodge? Does he read chat much in these streams? I do, man. I definitely come back to the thoughts of our spectators. So by all means, let me know what you think of either the race action or anything else that you're thinking about, either in the Forza world, the virtual racing world, whatever it is. We can have a conversation in here between the action. Across the line goes Iceman Misfit for the conclusion of lap 5, starting lap 6, now into T1. Starting to get a little bit of separation there, Fu-Tang and Iceman are. Bambi Buster back there in 8th, Slow Motion Flyer. I said it last week, but this week is actually going to show up in the points column. You're actually going to notice how much better of a week this is for Slow Motion Flyer, assuming he's going to be able to hold on to it. Currently running in 9th, back there behind Bambi Buster, who's joining us here for the second race of the 2 in week 4, before we head out to Watkins Glen, the short circuit, for 58 laps and the conclusion of season number 25. 25 seasons. Kudos to Slow Motion Fire and Company for putting these on year after year, dating all the way back to the Forza Motorsport 4 era. That's how long they've been doing this. Great work by the team. And Craytrim, what a fantastic run he's having. Back through 10A and B, up the hill. Let's take a look at his telemetry there. Getting up onto the red line at 7,000 RPM before downshifting and letting it roll back to 5,000. You see creeping back up to 6 and 7 down the straightaway. Hope you all are having a fantastic start to the week and the end of month number 1, January 2019. Can you believe it? It's like we just celebrated a new year, and here we are already wiping one full page off the calendar as we get ready to head into February here on Friday. And on February the 3rd, this coming Sunday at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. 11 a.m. Eastern Time here on February the 3rd. Mileage Masters Championship, season number 5, race number 4, heading out to Daytona Sport Car Circuit in the GT Racing Reborn cars, or at least a portion of that division. The race that we were going to have here this past Sunday didn't happen because of an illness that I had. We'll get things going here, so be sure to check us out 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time for the Pit Pass pre-race show, sponsored by racetracks.com, racetracx.com. You can find information about various virtual motorsport racing series, and if you have one that you want to add to the calendar, you can do that through the submission process. I'll be happy to throw it onto the calendar. Lets racers know what opportunities they have for them out there in the virtual world of racing to get signed up and out on the track. For race organizers to be able to deconflict when their races happen in relation to other events that are taking place. For our spectators, to include you all that are watching here tonight, check out some of the other races that are happening, not only here on this broadcast, but across the Twitch and Mixer spectrum, or even YouTube. and the different motorsport disciplines. And the virtual circuit, the digital racetrack. Mr. Gypsy there in third position, having one heck of a run. Mr. Biggie back there in second position, who's lost sight of Craytrim, at least at this point. Craytrim already down the straightaway, out of T8 up to T9, and then down the hill he'll go. Back behind Blister is Well Done Baku in fourth, Fear the Fun in fifth. Food Tank is back there in sixth, able to hold off Misfit, at least for now. Bandit Buster in eighth, So Much Fire is ninth. Modern Weapon in 10th, gotta go fast in 11th. T-Phrase 12th, PJ Dude in 13th, Weiss Lancelot in 13th, Ray Devil in 14th, Drift Bunny, TFX driver. Two of them there in 14th and 15th. Drift Bunny is going to be the one in 15th. Autobahn in 16th, Demos in 17th, Motive in 18th, Fast Eddie in 19th, Brian in 20th, and it appears we've lost one driver out on the grid here in the second race of week number 4. Let's go back to Fear the Fun. Yeah, about 90 to 120 minutes. That's about right there. Ollie, I said 85 early, but I think it's definitely closer to 90 or even 120. We'll get close to the top of the hour here. Fear the Fun, going to run wide, almost colliding with the tire wall, able to save it. That's going to allow Fuente to close in back there in 7th position. Fear the Fun putting on a little bit of a show for us there, drifting it out. Road Atlanta, a popular circuit for the drift scene. So very appropriate for Fear the Fun to maybe take on that role, although drifting will lose you time off the leaders and only allow your closest competitors to continue to close in. So, it's great showmanship, not great in terms of competitiveness. As they head back down the hill, Fu-Tang there in 5th, closing in. All right, Dodge, hey, thanks for hanging out for as long as you did. Best of luck in terms of sprucing up your computer there, and we look forward to seeing you out on the track, and of course, talking with you here in the driver's spotlight come Sunday before the race and likely afterward. Early morning for Dodge, yeah, for a lot of our drivers or our spectators, and even some of our drivers early in the morning or late at night for them. So we appreciate everybody's dedication to watching the stream, and for those who are out on the track, however they're able to do it, I don't know. I can't piece it together in my mind how I would be able to do some of this stuff so late in the evening or so early in the morning. It's crazy. You've got drivers who are very much dedicated to their craft, their skill, their hobby here in the virtual world of motorsport. And although this is a very laissez-faire, a very fun approach to virtual motorsport, some of these drivers did carry this over to the more competitive side of things, and now we start to see Well Done Baku, who's there in 3rd, approaching the back marker of Ray Devil. Unfortunately, Ray Devil just very much off the pace there in 19th position. Craytrim still our race leader with Blister Gypsy now up into 2nd. Well Done Baku in 3rd. Fear the Fun in 4th. What has happened to Biggie? My apologies. We've completely lost track of Mr. Biggie, who is... Wow, was it Biggie who we lost out on the track? It is. So our 21st driver was Biggie, and that's who we have had drop off the circuit, whether due to a disconnect or maybe had himself a catastrophic turn of events out on the track and decided to quit, call it quits. Wow. Maybe Mr. Biggie can give us an update either in the pit lane, Twitch chat, or perhaps maybe we can have a word with Mr. Biggie after the race in the driver's spotlight. But there you go. So Craytrim, that may be a little bit more of a relief for him than anything else for the other drivers, because that just means Craytrim, if he can keep his pace, he's good to go for the next 11 laps here. Dodge saying this old laptop sat for 2 years out of action and my big rig sleeps and wakes up fine for events like the MMC. So there you go. Dodge trying to get that second computer up and running. And GG Racing saying, yeah, he's got the hands through the hair. He can't make out what happened to Mr. Biggie. We can't either. And so, unfortunately, we just didn't have our cameras on him when things either went south or sometimes it's just a spontaneous disconnect with all the information that has to travel from these gamers, these drivers, their computers to the server that is Forza Motorsport. Sometimes little hiccups, it's all it takes for you to get disconnected and there's no way back into the racing action. And the only thing that we can do is chalk that up as a significant malfunction akin to an engine, a blown engine or something to that effect. Very much like what we saw from the Mazda cars in the Daytona 24 here this past Sunday or this past weekend. The two Mazdas dropping out early. And Fear the Fun now able to get around the back marker of Grey Devil. There in second position. He is trying to reel in Craytrim. He's got another back marker between him. That's 18th position of Brian. So as we run through the field, it's Craytrim out in front, Blister Gypsy in second, well done Baku there in third. Fourth is Fear the Fun. We'll go hang out with Fear the Fun. Well, actually, let's go to Funtang, who's back there in fifth position. Funtang having a good run at this point, and getting wide was not Misfit. That was one of the back markers, so Funtang able to get by with no incident. That was Ray Devil back there. Funtang able to make a daring move there through 12. Iceman Misfit in 6th, Slow Motion Fire is in 7th, Bambi Buster in 8th. Let's go to Bambi Buster, who, like I said, was joining us for the first time here in week number 4, and we've got only 1 week remaining. It's week 5. 58 laps out at the Glen, the short circuit of the Glen. And if you know anything about Watkins Glen, it's a fast circuit in and of itself. Bambi Buster running a little bit wide there between 6 and 7 as he heads back up to the hill. But yes, the Glen, the home, previously the home of the U.S. Grand Prix, had some Formula One racing out there for some time, IndyCar racing, NASCAR racing. It is a fast track. And so to take those V8 Aston Martins out there, the Vantages out there to that track, it's going to be something special to see in 58 laps. What could possibly go wrong? Behind Bambi Buster in 9th, and on his own little racing island is Modern Weapon. 10th has got to go fast. PJ Noon in 11th. T-Phrase in 12th. 13th is Weiss Lancelot. TFX Drift Bunny now down the long straightaway coming out of T8. That Kink in 14th. Demos in 15th. Motive in 16th. Fast Eddie in 17th. Brian is 18th. Grey Devil in 19th. And Autobahn in 20th. And now we'll go back up to Fear the Fun in 4th position. Shadow Edge Media, Dustin Moore Broadcasting. It's been my absolute pleasure all throughout this season to be the official broadcast partner of the FM4 Forza Motorsport Spec Racing Series. And I hope you will come back for more. If you are enjoying the action that you're seeing here live or via the rebroadcast, or maybe you're watching this on demand in the past broadcast section of the channel, and you haven't yet clicked that follow button, please do. Lets me know as the broadcaster that I'm doing something right, which is good news. And we continue to evolve these broadcasts both in the production value, but then also in the amount of races that we are hosting here throughout the week. And oh no! There goes Fast Eddie into the wall. Fear the Fun's having to deal with it. And did Fear the Fun incur any damage there? Let's take a look at his car. He did! Oh no! Fear the Fun substantial damage to the front end of that car, to include the driver's side brake and suspension. And it's going to be a long trot back toward the start-finish line to get into pit lane. And, oh no, Fear the Fun just in the wrong spot at the wrong time. I asked Food Tang about it. Do you worry about back markers or traffic getting a little bit too ambitious or audacious through turn 12 and spoiling your race for you? And that's exactly what has happened to Fear the Fun. As he drops now back to 7th position, he's got a long way to go. He's got 100% engine damage, 100% damage to the clutch and the transmission and the drive line. So it is going to be a slow way back to the start-finish line. He's doing pretty good at this point, carrying a little bit of that momentum that he had going through out of the straightaway from the start-finish line. But when you slow it down here through T6 and 7, and you have to head up the hill through T8, that really hurts your case. And man, gotta feel bad for Fear the Fun here. Iceman Misfit up to 7th position, Bambi Buster to 6th, Slow Motion Fire in 5th. Fotang has made his way up to 4th now as a result. Fear the Fun, who was running in 4th, and unfortunately that's just bad luck. And I think it was, I believe it was T-Phrase. No, it couldn't have been T-Phrase, or was it T-Phrase? No, it wasn't. It was one of the back markers, and I'll have to check myself. T-Phrase, though, they're in the Chevy City Aston Martin V8 Vantage, kind of flying under the radar here in 8th position, having himself a good run out here at Road Atlanta. And you see one of those tires, one of the donuts off onto the track there coming out of 12. Unfortunately, here in Forza Motorsport 7, the physics associated with those tires, you can just punt one of those out of the way pretty harmlessly without doing any damage to your car. But the damage has been done to Fear the Fun, who is now in pit lane, dropping back as far as 13th position. There was one other car that was caught up in that mix, but I think it was Futang who was able to get through on the inside. And there goes Fear the Fun, all the damage repaired. And that'll be fresh tires and a full tank of fuel, not that he needs it, before heading back out. Let's go up to Blister Gypsy in 2nd, who is closing in on Crate Trim as they head to turn 12 now. Or excuse me, T1. That's going to be T1 for them, and there comes Fear the Fun out of pit lane. It's a little bit of a scary exit for those of you who may not have experienced the pit exit here at Road America, excuse me, at Road Atlanta. You come right back out as the drivers are going about as full steam as you possibly can through T1. And look at this, Crate Trim, Blister Gypsy, lap 17 of 21. This is going to be a good one to watch all the way to the conclusion. And more back markers up ahead as Autobahn kind of puts himself out of the way. Great sportsman-like maneuver there. GG Racing says, well, got to get going, getting tired, and yeah, see you Sunday. We'll see you Sunday, GG Racing. GG Racing, our leader on the leaderboard there in the Mileage Masters Championship Season number 5, trying to become the first American to win the championship, with the exception of our beta season, which was DJ Hush won there in Season 0, but GG Racing trying to do it for the first time in any of our regular seasons. So come watch him do that here on Sunday, 11 a.m. Eastern Time, as we're going to drop the green flag. Mr. Gypsy now up the hill, back behind Crate Trim, closing in. Let that be the conclusion of 17, starting lap 18. 4 laps to go here out at Road Atlanta, and it's only getting more and more exciting by the lap. Well done, Baku. Not far behind. So Blister Gypsy and Crate Trim get into this mentality, in this situation where they're battling each other more than they are putting down quick times, and that's going to be a good thing for Well Done Baku, and perhaps he'll be able to close that gap. Back behind them is Futang, who has not yet made a mistake, so he's got a good run back and forth. Slow Motion Fire. I got to applaud Slow Motion Fire, and I'll knock on wood and not try to speak too soon. Running back there in 5th. Blister Gypsy trying to make a move there through T6. Not going to happen. Coming out of T7, they'll be single file. Back up the hill through the kink. Again, want to thank SVR Genzenator and Buck636 for the subscriptions, the Tier 1 subscriptions here. ZP Belts 18 for the follow, and Commander I'll Be Damned for the follow. And there we go, across the line for the 19th time is Crate Trim, Blister Gypsy, looking to wrap this one up very, very quickly here in the next 5 to 10 minutes. And Blister Gypsy, getting a little bit daring, looking to the inside there through 3, kicking up the blades of grass and a little bit of dirt. You see the red clay there on parts of the track through the S's. Blister Gypsy running wide through 5. You're going to be side by side. Down the straightaway up to turn 6. Blister is going to be into the inside at 6. And they're door panel to door panel. Blister now coming up to T7. And that's what's going to be the new leader, Blister Gypsy. Crate Trim, Fear the Fawn, one of the back markers there in 18th position, but back behind them somewhere is going to be Well Done Baku in 3rd position. Well Done Baku is out of T8 and up the hill underneath the Motul Bridge, so he'll be closing in. Now Crate Trim's going to run to the outside. Perhaps Crate Trim's got to tune that best. Maxes out top speed in the Aston Martin Vantage, locking up the brakes a little bit, throwing some tire smoke and some rubber down on the asphalt. Now Blister Gypsy is going to take the lead once again, coming through 11 and 12. And across the line for the start of T20, but the start of lap 20. And if you're just joining us, Mr. Biggie was able to come away with the win out at Sebring and was out in front of this, at this race, or at least he was in 2nd position trying to reel in Crate Trim, but either a disconnect or he had an accident which had him pulling himself out of the race. Either way, no longer out on the track, giving way to Gypsy and Crate Trim to battle it out. Well Done Baku back there in 3rd position. In 4th, Fu-Tang. Slow Motion Fire in 5th. 6th is Iceman Misfit. 7th is Bambi Buster. Modern Weapon in 8th. PJ Dude, then Gotta Go Fast are your top 10. And Crate Trim would do very well to reclaim first here over Blister Gypsy. Blister Gypsy came into week 4, 4th on the leaderboard overall. And so a 2nd place finish will still keep Crate Trim out in front of Blister Gypsy, but he can use all the points going into week number 5 before that final race out at Watkins Glen. Have as big a lead as possible, and there we go. Oh no! There goes Blister Gypsy into the tire wall, and that's going to give Crate Trim the advantage. And Crate Trim is now regained 1st position. Well Done Baku is up to 2nd. Blister Gypsy is turned around, currently in 3rd, but that car has got to be battered and bruised at this point. And with this being the final lap, all he can do is hobble it back as best as he can, holding off the oncoming traffic. He's got one back marker behind him, but he has Fu-Tang, who will be closing in quickly. Let's go back up to 2nd. Well Done Baku is now the race leader, with Crate Trim falling back to 2nd. And that shakes up the leaderboard yet again. That changes things entirely as we head into week number 5. And we'll let the officials go ahead and sort out the points at the conclusion of today's race. And, of course, we'll preview those heading into next Tuesday's race, and that'll be 8 p.m. Eastern Time. You don't want to miss it. Based on the action that we're seeing right now, you don't want to miss it. Well done, Baku, down the straightaway for the first time on this final lap, able to be out in the 1 spot. And 2nd place is well behind him, actually Crate Trim. And I don't know if Crate Trim has given up position, thinking that maybe Crate Trim might have pushed Blister Gypsy. And so it's going to be Well Done Baku coming across the line. Checkered flag waves. And there you go. He's our race winner. Fu-Tang back in 2nd. Blister Gypsy in 3rd. And Blister Gypsy miraculously able to cross the line in third with a destroyed vehicle. Well, fortunately for him, the engine was is intact along with the clutch. It was the steering that he was having to deal with, but able to come away with third. Slow motion fire with a fourth place finish. Misfit in fifth. Bambi Buster is sixth. Craytrim is going to go ahead and give himself a seventh place finish. I think Craytrim is damaged as well, so that's what happened. Blister Gypsy got turned around there on T12, coming back toward the start-finish line for the white flag. Craytrim got caught up in that action and was damaged as well, falling back many more positions than Blister was. Modern Weapon is grabbing 8th, PJ Dude in 9th, got to go fast in 10th, Weiss, Lancelot in 11th. Fear the Fun. Fear the Fun, unfortunately, with his hiccup through T12 as well with the back markers, is going to have to come away with a 12th place finish. He's going to drift it across the start-finish line. That's the best he could possibly do with this one. TFX Drift Bunny going to come out with 13th, and man, Fotang telling us in the pit lane he was on a racing island in 4th position, and then boom, suddenly was 2nd, and good for Fotang for being on that racing island. If he was closing in on Craytrim and Fear the Fun, that would have been devastating for him as well. And I say Fear the Fun, but I mean Blister Gypsy. So Fotang was in a good position. That's where he wanted to be to avoid that mess. Drift Bunny in 13th, T-Phrase in 14th, 15th goes to Demos, although Demos appears to be parked before the finish line. So Ray Devil may claim 15th. He does. Not sure what's going on. Demos is turned around, and we see them there. His car is destroyed. And he's just going to be able to hobble across the line in 17th. So something devastatingly wrong there with Demos, and I have to imagine it's turn 12 rearing its ugly head. 18th is going to go to Brian, and 19th to Autobahn, 20th to Fast Eddie. Man, turn 12 racking havoc more so than anything else out here on the track. Fotang telling us before the race that was the feared corner for him, and actually he benefited from everybody else's mistakes and came away in 2nd. This is gonna change the landscape of the leaderboard entirely, and you'll be able to check out that leaderboard after it's been updated by our race officials over at reddit.com/r/FM4. And then, of course, once we come back with the broadcast next Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, we'll flash that leaderboard up to let you know how things are looking going into that finale. But I promise you, this could very well be one of the more exciting finishes to an FM4 series that they have seen in a long time. I know I've only seen 2 seasons now, but I can't imagine them coming as close as this one, at least not in a while. And there you go. Well done, Baku. Able to come away with first. He wasn't leading this race up until that final lap, and that's where he'll finish with a 128.1. Fotang back behind him with a 128.6 in 2nd. Blister Gypsy in 3rd. Slow Motion Fire. Tip of the hat to you, sir. 4th position. Iceman Misfit in 5th. Bambi Buster, who came into this 2nd race, not racing the first one out at Sebring, coming in at 6th. Craytrim, we saw his car just destroyed, just demolished. He was able to hobble across the line in 7th. Modern Weapon in 8th. PJ Dude in 9th. Got to go fast in 10th. Weiss in 11th. Fear the Fun in 12th. Drift Bunny 13th, T-Phrase 14th, Ray Devil 15th, Motive 16th, Demos in 17th, Brian in 18th. He had a couple DNFs. They'll get 3 points each there for Autobahn, Fast Eddie, and Mr. Biggie. Wow. Well, that was something, and to tell us how much of a something it was, let's go to Mr. Big J Bishop. Fear the fun. Unfortunately, we saw the mishap that you got caught up in there in T12. Not there in the final moments, but heading toward in the second half of that race. But you were able to finish in 12th. Tell us how things looked from your perspective heading there into that last turn back to the start finish line.
It looked good. I was looking back to see where Foon was because I didn't want to chop off his nose. Then I looked forward, and there was a car spinning sideways, and I had nowhere to go. I didn't have time to grab the brakes or anything.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. It's that terrible feeling that you have either as a real driver, and of course it's very much a real situation with safety at risk there. But in the virtual world, it's still that kind of that feeling in your gut where you just see things going wrong in front of you, and you know that the pace that your car is going, there's just very little that you can do. Able to salvage 12th place finish. You were saying, hey, you were running so good beforehand, before that incident happened. How far up were you? I'm trying to recall.
I never got to third. I was in fourth for the majority of the race.
Fourth position, and unfortunately things just going wrong there, and that's obviously not going to help out in the points for you. But as I look at the leaderboard, it's not going to help out. Back there behind Disco Joint and Foontang. So looking ahead to Watkins Glen. 58 laps, and of course we'll let the officials do the math, but are you going to be able to make some leaps and bounds here in this final 5th week?
I think I passed Disco Joint this week because he wasn't here this week. I don't know. It might be his bye week. But, I mean, I thought after last race that I would have at least tied Foon. Mm-hmm. But since he got second place and I came in 12th, it just kind of reversed back to what it was.
There we go. So Fear the Fun in the driver's spotlight. An unfortunate turn of events for him out here on the track at Road Atlanta. But hey, best of luck to you in the finale next week, and we hope it's a good one for you.
I hope you keep on keeping on. And see you next week.
Oh yeah, we won't let any illness keep us down. We're going to keep this broadcast going, and especially there in week number 5. Fear the Fun. Great chatting with you, and we'll go now to Slow Motion Fire, who again, I said it last week. Had some great finishes there in week 3, although the points would tell a different story. It was equivalent to some of your previous weeks, but this week here, week 4, was genuinely a good week for you.
Yeah, I'm happy with this. I got kind of lucky, with some disconnects, which is unfortunate, and that issue with CT really pushed me up in that last race. Yeah. But it worked great today. I was really happy with how I raced, so it's finally nice to have a good week.
And were you just kind of filling in the groove with the car, or is it the track combination here this week in week number 4 with Sebring and Road Atlanta that was kind of the ticket for you?
I'd say it just all finally came together. Just the tracks worked. They were tracks I knew pretty well, and I managed to stay on the track, which always helps.
So I was making a bold assumption, and of course, my experience with the FM4 series doesn't date back as far as obviously it does for you. 25 seasons that you've been doing this, all the way since Forza Motorsport 4. I have to think by the time you do the arithmetic here for the points, this is going to be a crazy finish. Have you guys had anything like this in recent memory?
Yeah, Foontang's got the nickname of Mr. 1 Point because he lost. He lost the series championship by 1 point. I think that's probably been 2 or 3 series ago.
Oh, wow. Wow, and Fear the Fun telling us that maybe if the math works in his favor, he might have jumped over Disco and maybe even Foontang here in this one. So we'll see if that actually happens. But, man, an exciting one that we have heading into the 58-lapper at Watkins Glen Short Circuit. What do you have to do for you? Not necessarily for the series and all the other drivers that are out there on the track, but for yourself, what do you got to do to come away with as successful a finish as you had here in week 4?
With the level drivers we've got in this series, I mean, you can't make a mistake. You see that with ET running at the front. They are razor edge the whole race. And you see what happens with CT when he made that little. I'm not sure what happened there, but there was an incident, and he dropped clear to the back of the field. So, whole thing, and you're done.
That's all it takes. A little bit, some miscues, and then, of course, dealing with lap traffic. That's all part of the game in racing. I'd hate to see that come away, and so I'm glad that these drivers are navigating, and unfortunately you get those situations. But, hey, 58 laps out at the Watkins Glen, a great way to put the capstone here on season 25 in these Aston Martin Vantages. Hey, kudos to you, Slow Motion Fire, not only in your driving here this week, but in the magnificent series that you put together. And we've had some great lobbies filled up here, almost filled. And so here's hoping for a fantastic finish to this one.
I think it'll be a good one. Everybody's looking forward to Watkins Glen, so we should have a good turnout next week.
I agree. Well, there you go, folks. Talking to a few of our drivers in the driver's spotlight, putting the wraps on this one. And as I mentioned, we didn't have the race this past Sunday in the Mileage Masters Championship season number 5, but race number 4, the second half of season 5, comes at you this Sunday, and I promise you, I'm going to be there. 11 a.m. Eastern Time is for the green flag. 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time is when we get that pit pass pre-race show kicked off. We'll take a look at the leaderboard with AMS GG Racing up on top. We'll see where everybody else sits below that and how much mileage they have to make up. But then also we'll talk to some of our drivers there in the driver spotlight, get their thoughts on that GT Racing Reborn setup out at Daytona International Raceway. It's been an absolute blast. Great racing here today. Sebring, Road Atlanta, Daytona coming up, Watkins Glen after that. We've got 2 more days of racing here in the next 7 that you don't want to miss. So make sure, if you haven't already, click that follow button and be ready to join us back here on Twitch TV. Would love to have you. Until next time, y'all take care. Have a great rest of the week. If you get any more virtual or real-world racing in, keep it safe, keep it fun, keep it clean. Adios. Goodbye.